Good evening, everybody. We're back with the story of Ike Upscribe, Apostle Obsonate. I believe it's the 83rd episode. I'm System Chalk. So, in the previous episode, we ran into the problem of the creeping breath curse. It's finally taken hold, and we have a decrepitude to show for it. So there are rituals that we can use to get past it. We're still reasonably healthy, not as healthy as we used to be, but we've got enough to get us through. So that is going to require the work slot, and I've been using the work slot to make enough money to do the expeditions and such. I got to find the right time to be able to get all this done, although with the awareness of appetite, not really sure that's going to help me out here, but we'll take a look. I actually don't recall immediately how to fix that, but we'll experiment. We're also finishing off the Tomb of the the Temple of the Seven Coils. Now, the curse, it looks like we've got another one. This is actually one reason why I want to deal with the decrepitude sooner rather than later. And we are also studying the histories. We've got a fascination, and I intend to use it. So, probably not a lot of trips to Dreamland for the next little while. I will let Enid at least get one more hit at the burglary. And then we'll see what we can do with the rest. Okay, some things come back with us. I glimpse subtle movements in the world, like the floaters which sometimes move through the eye, but slyer. Sometimes, too, I hear them. Okay, the artist's reward. My recent work is considered significant. I may yet earn a living from this, but nothing is certain, so... Thank you, Slee. Mystique to cover my bad deeds. Or glimmering if I decide to start doing some upgrades. We got the notoriety, which we used as an input. And we've gotten rid of the staleness. We did pretty well in terms of funds. Okay, so Sunset Rite may not be the appropriate one here, but let's see. So this is talking about... No, hang on. If I add Forge, perhaps I could renew my body. So let's add the Formula Fissive. Forge is Redemption Major. The Forge of Days destroys and renews. I will invoke it with the Grail to renew my failing flesh with forbidden magics. We're calling on a major degree of Forge, so the rite will probably succeed. To increase Forge to at least 15 to improve your chances further. Well, Tristan is available just for... that task. The Forge of Days destroys and renews. I will invoke it with the Grail to renew my failing flesh with forbidden magics. You are calling on a grand degree of Forge, and this will almost certainly succeed, but there are always risks. So there's the decrepitude. We laugh at the curse. Treasures lie before us. There is a prey. Oh, sorry, we've already got that, so. And we'll probably just keep the dream slot open because we are going to get 6. Into the night. Wisdom is a country, and these are its maps. Solve the challenges on both fragments of lore to complete the research task. So, of course, we only have the fascination to go. I wanted to read the text. I hit the wrong button. We have read that before, though. So we will send the Callagine to deal with the evidence, but of course we don't have the people for it. Might be time for another summoning. We'll see, but certainly I have a lot of things on my plate. We do also, unfortunately, have a season of despair coming up, and a delightful blood, which will be gone before the despair abates. So I need to probably take a trip. Actually, you know what? This may work out for me because once this passes, I'll be able to use the talk verb to. Be able to use the talk verb on the Callagine to get rid of the evidence. We will go to Oriflamme's to sell the delightful blood. And as much as I would like to get the dread to deal with the fascination, I dislike having a season of despair more. So, 7 coils, said Gentis Journal, but the idol within is an impossible heap of stone serpent, coil upon coil, a knot that dizzies the soul. Wrongness squirms in the temple corners. We should search the place quickly before its influencers overwhelm us. Sorry, influences, not influencers. We don't have a bunch of YouTubers telling us what to think. All right. puzzle with missing pieces, I might find those pieces in odd corners of scholarship. Okay, so old and happy far off things. If I wanted dread, that's definitely a way to get it. Forge's redemption failure. The Forge of Days has failed me, or I have failed it. The magic has brought me only nightmares and peril. Well, I also, for the first time in a while, I don't have contentment. So this is going to be quite the adventure. Let's think. So first thing I want to do is see, is there a way that I can dodge the consequences of the dread? It might just be that painting to generate some contentment will cover it. So in 17 oh, hang on. No, I have exactly what I need. So here's how it's going to work. 17 point... No, wait a minute. I'm not going to get the fascination back in time. So I was going to say at 17.7 seconds would have been before the season of despair comes, but the fascination doesn't come back immediately. So followers returned with their haul. I have been pretty lucky that there haven't been consequences for that, so good work, Enid. Oh, and a bronze Spintrea. Very welcome. Okay. If I can't beat it, I'm going to kick the can down the road and I'm going to paint using my dread. That's not going to fix the problem, but it might get me a contentment. The temple is as clean as if it were newly swept. No sand has crossed the threshold, no dust settle on the idol's horrible twists. We find things tucked away here and there amidst the coils, as if they had been playfully left for us to find, or as if the idol had coiled around them. Okay, a bitter atmosphere, so even more potential dread. So on the board, we actually have the potential for 3 dread, which of course is a situation that will let us lose the game. Now, we will deal with that. It's not a problem, but it's worth recognizing before we go too far down the road. So basically, the source, we've got the dread here. The bitter atmosphere will turn into dread, and then we have old unhappy far off things, which will eventually turn into dread. So if I don't do something to arrest the sort of the progression of all the dread, I need to I'll lose. So we need to find contentment. Okay, a gold Spintrea. Initiates of the hidden world use Spintrea to pay for services. They can easily be sold for more traditional funds. Gold Spintrea display scenes that are not visible to mortal eyes on their reverse side. So I will put this under Spintrea. This almost is like more of a lantern artifact in some ways, but we have the division bell. First its voice, then after, nothing. That's 12 winter. I believe that's the most powerful artifact we have right now. Watchworms, a tiny pot of stunted, desiccated larval remnants from the first worm war, rank with the power that inhabits the dead hours. Lethal poison. Under no circumstances should you put this in anyone you want to keep. And a copy of In Memory of Gods. So that's probably going to generate some dread as well. We will translate that, but for one thing at a time, let's get the studies done first. So, first things first, let's get the Callagine. We'll send them off to deal with the evidence. Now, there is a question about what do I do with the maid in the mirror. Maybe the right call here is just try to resummon them. But then I wouldn't be able to paint with the dread. Okay, well, the Delightful Blood's expiring first, so let's sell it at Oriflamme's right away. So our Delight's Blood is payment towards towards certain special goods for particular connoisseurs. Everything must be just right for the vitulation. And it seems to me my best option right now, I know I want to deal with the health, but let's go through the stag door, see if we can get a contentment out of that. So next thing will be to paint with the dread, and again, that's not going to solve the problem, but it's what I've got right now. So we got to wait 18.5 seconds, or as close to it as we can. Okay, I don't want to buy the 7 graces. It's really just so that I can work with it. Okay, 0.7 I can work with, so we will now paint. I'm going to use all the reputation that I can. We'll just do the use the notoriety. We will use dread. I blew it. I should have done it earlier, because if I don't have 20 seconds, it's going to get picked up anyway. So we will use the Maid in the Mirror as the inspiration anyway. That was goofy of me, but we'll make it work. So the illness has damaged my health. I'll need rest before I am fully recovered. So we have the vitality. That'll be good for another 80 seconds. Aha, there it is. Is that it? Of course, we won't bid on the auction. Right, a half-glimpsed wistfulness has touched me. So, yeah, 32 seconds left. I'm going to change my mind. So this will eliminate the restlessness. It does put the Maid in the Mirror out in the cold, so to speak. The auction's over, the lot has gone elsewhere. I retain my funds, as intended, so let's explore with the Maid in the Mirror. Colors of the night. I could spend money on better paints, or perhaps I could find more exotic pigments. New colors. I've begun to notice colors in the world for which I have no name. It's almost certainly a consequence of the study. Okay, Street Strange by Moonlight. So if I want knock influence, there it is. I think I've let the bitter atmosphere get too old. Oh, it should have been the white door that I went through. Silly, silly, silly. Let's do the Ascent of Knives. Yes, because that's what I need right now, more winter. Winter passes the clothes, passes the skin, nestles in the veins. Actually, this might still help me. I visited the Ascent of Knives last night, that harshest of roads through the house. It has been sacred to the Menascate and the sun in rags since the intercalate, when the true sun was divided. When I woke, my room was freezing. The chill of it had cracked the window glass. So what I might be able to do is wait this out and try and upgrade the winter. Okay, all my influence is going away. Lots of stuff happening here. So let's go with our affliction. We'll add the vitality to heal. So we can do a hireling. I don't think that's the right call for now. Saber's Blood will expire in about 20 seconds, which is another source. It's another potential threat. And my recent work has accrued modest fame. My paintings have reviewed well. So we do have a contentment which will get picked up in 8 seconds. So that is the dread dealt with. Good news there. We earned a staleness, but only 2 funds, so that's a little unfortunate. But we have an easy solution to that. I'm going to leave the work verb open for the next little while. And my minion has returned. The evidence has been destroyed. I am a little safer. So for now, I think... okay, so there's a lot of things I'd like to use the talk verb right now. But for now, I'm actually just going to talk with the Callagine to keep it in the area. So what I want to do is either resummon the Maid in the Mirror, or summon a new Maid in the Mirror with the resources that I currently have. Neither of those are options. Well, sorry, I can do the summoning, but I want to see whether or not I actually need a second Maid in the Mirror. Although that's going to take a minute, but it'll take 7.8 seconds to see if I can upgrade the lore, so we will leave the work slot open. Quite a bit to think about. Oh, and Season of Visions. Oh, that's going to be a tight fit. We're probably going to get hit by it. But I will have a fleeting reminiscence, so we might go up to 2 fascination, but we will be able to overcome it. Okay, I've increased my knowledge of the secret histories behind the one we know. So 67 seconds left. We have a Port Noon anecdote. Now notice that this is unique. So if I try to get a second one, it's actually going to make this one vanish. There's a lot of reasons why it's hard to get the Port Noon anecdotes, but this is one of the more minor ones, which is you can actually, if you have one on the table and you have not explored it, then you lose it. But Port Noon is where the long go to enjoy the sea and the sun, to drink from the spring that makes them forgotten. And to stay out of trouble, mostly out of trouble. The stories you can hear in the Hotel Ciervo are golden dewed quintuple distilled toasts to memory, served straight up. So we will explore with it, but again, we have other things that we need to do. I did want to use my study verb, that's right, to upgrade the lore, so if I add a winter... Oh, really? It only lets me do the same kind, huh? Well, I mean, it makes sense, right? They don't want me to cheese it too much. So my other option, I suppose, would be to try to extend the life of this icy atmosphere. Okay, so this is going to be a little corny, but I'm going to try. I'm seeing things I know I shouldn't. I know this is dangerous, but it's difficult. Not too long for it. Right, so it's Moth and Lantern. Well, Moth will get rid of it. Lantern just kicks the can down the road. Okay, yeah, so... I'm going to keep this around for a while to let this decay. Okay. So this is still around for 66 seconds, so that's still a threat. Why am I not using my study verb? Right, okay, so we already decided that I'm not able to use the study... Oh no, I am able to use the study verb, I just need to wait. We will use the dream verb with the Forlorn Blood afterwards. Sorry, I'm just trying to keep track of everything. And I've got 37 seconds left before I can use the Maid in the Mirror. I also want to see what's coming up next, but at this time, I already have 2 or 3 rounds worth of plans that I need to contend with. And this would be the perfect time for the curse to strike and leave me reeling. I messed up. Bitter Atmosphere was supposed to be decaying, not the other one. Okay. Better not. I must be careful of the company I keep. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to try the... Let's start with the Rite of the Beasts division. So the assistant's name is taken from them in a place on an occasion of power, and they are divided into 9 parts. They used to be hunted like an animal too, but times changed. So what we will do here is we'll take the Maid in the Mirror as the victim. We will take Formula Ophidian as the knock influence. So this is actually enough to get the job done. So one thing I could do is to use either the fascination or the I could use the fascination or the the winter to try and get rid of the maid in the mirror. I'm just trying to think of the right way that I can handle this. So I think the problem... Okay, I'm going to put the fascination as the influence here. The reason for that is I have ways of dealing with dread at the moment. I am a bit vulnerable to the fascination, though. So let's use that in the summoning. This is going to expire in 16 seconds, but the bitter atmosphere needs 18, so I need to find a way of delaying these. Oh, well, that's actually an easy one. Of course, I would love to translate the book, and I know we're at the limit of our time. Oh. We're good. I can use the Forlorn Blood. So this will be a little bit extended. I just need the few seconds to get this planned, because there's no possible way I'm going to remember this for the next episode. Nothing. My words cease like sand and glass. Okay. I should have been exploring with Port Noon, so I am going to talk to the Callagine again, even though, well, you know what? We can probably send it on... Okay, there is no mission. Okay, fair enough. Let's explore with the Port Noon anecdote, because obviously we're not going to go on another adventure for a little while. Across the bright far sea, Port Noon lies. Exiles, monsters, and visionaries have long favored the waters around it. Perhaps we shouldn't get too close, but it might be useful to get close enough. Dream of the End. I forgot about this, so we are going to get hit by the fascination. I'm much recovered. More than that, I am sumptuous. The sclera of my eyes, the veins in my wrists are aswim with gorgeous serums. When the vitulation comes, I will be the centerpiece for our delight to prove their appetite to enact the grail. Okay, let's just take a second here and reflect on what I want to do. I would actually like to... Well, no, I'm actually gonna, believe it or not, I'm actually gonna keep this around for a little bit. So I probably want to have at least one of these dread pop up. So we're going to get sick again. That's an important one for me to keep in mind. In fact, no, I got to keep the study room open. So again, I want to see if we keep the maid in the mirror. If we don't keep the maid in the mirror, I'm an idiot. Okay. So we will combine the 2 icy atmosphere and the invocation of the lost hours. Silence waits west of the world, but not forever. That's done. Okay, so... for the next episode, here's the game plan. We now have 2 fascination. We are going to summon a maid in the mirror. Now, if the maid in the mirror tries to break free, we have the option of using the reason to make them go away. And what we'll do then, excuse me. So keep in mind, even though we have the 2, we're going to get a fleeting reminiscence after this despair. So that's going to quiet things down a little bit on the fascination. If we keep the maid in the mirror, then we can just have this decay into dread, and that will feed into the fascination, and we're done. If we can't keep the maid in the mirror, I believe that will still produce a winter influence, after which we will use this upgraded winter influence to summon an alternative maid in the mirror. And that's going to be kind of how I finally untangle myself from the consequences of my actions. So the Lone and Level Sands was not necessarily, the first expedition at least, was not that troublesome, but it really did seem, the curse really did seem to knock us on our back. And we still have a few things, so it's worth remembering that decrepitude is still around. It is actually something I would be able to use to try and calm down this fascination if I need. But I do also have a goal of trying to get rid of it, and it will have something to do with the amaranthine nectar. But to find that out, you will need to stop by for the next episode, which will come next Wednesday at 6:30. Thank you all again for watching. I really do appreciate it, and as is usual, if you leave a like or a comment, I suppose if you leave a dislike, that's still helpful feedback. If people don't like stuff, it's good to know. I obviously appreciate constructive feedback more than just you're terrible, but it's YouTube, right? You got to get used to it. But again, it's 80-something videos is not trivial, and I know some of you would like to see these come a lot faster than they do. But the fact that you've all been so kind in your comments and you've continued watching them and show that support is the reason I keep doing this. So as always, thank you very much. I will see you all next week, and until then, have a good one. Enjoy your weekends.